All right, I should be live. I should be live. Am I live? Let me know if I'm live. If I'm live, just tell me I'm live. All right, 14 people here. Thank you. Thank you, 14 people for being a part here. And I wanted to pass along from the chat that the watcher is still cancer-free in Tennessee and enjoyed my the show that I did with hold on. Yeah, it is. With Real Chill Graziano the other night. We talked boxing in the Delphi case. It was kind of a good time. I mean, over the course of my life, it's very rare that I've got to sit down and really just discuss boxing. You know where I'm at? I mean, somebody's got to have a taste for boxing to really sit and go on about boxing. So it was definitely a good time. And, it was a good show. I had a lot of fun on there. And I thank everybody for being here, all of you. I could run through some. Marvelous Marvin, man, how you doing? Always remember that name. Marvelous Marv. Chris G, Stitchy Widgets, AJ About Justice, Terry, Lollipop, Sharon Parker, The Watcher. Hold on, there's more. Annie Ferguson, Chris G, Wombat Dundee, there's more. Hold on. Maybe more. And Freedom Flag. I thank you all for being here. Well, tonight, I guess what I wanted to do was just kind of have a show talking about Delphi. But y'all know I didn't really leave the case or anything like that. I'm counting down time. And speaking of counting down time, just over 2 years ago, I said right here that there will not be a person of interest in the Delphi case. There will not be a suspect given to the public because it is one man, and it will not come with charges until he has been convicted in St. Louis. That still remains true because right now I am counting that time down. Now, he has some kind of court scheduled on the 16th of this month in 3 days. I don't think he has to be there. I think his lawyer does. But he does have his jury trial on August 2nd. And that's what I'm waiting for, because that should not take long. There was 2 women that was in that store that was left alive. They will be testifying against him. And it doesn't matter exactly which direction they go. If they give him life behind bars, fine. They give him life, fine. They give him 30 years, he's still not getting out of prison. All I want is that conviction, because once we have that conviction, all these other states can go talk to him. And it will be like within a month or 2 months thereafter that charges will be filed in every case that I made mention to. Ann Pates, Mary Pryor, Evansdale, and Delphi. So that is what I'm watching for. That's what I'm keeping an eye to. There has not been a person of interest given in the case. And a lot of people think that it's a cold case, that it's going cold because there's really no mention of anything new. Well, the reason that there isn't mention of anything new is because, as I've already stated, okay, they knew since November of 2018. Carroll County knew exactly who. So the state of Indiana and the FBI, they knew who did it. They had his DNA, fingerprints. That's what connected back to Delphi, and they have known since that time. Now, they can't tell you, or they can't tell the media, because if they tell you in the media, then everybody will be like, well, why are you filing charges? Huh? Well, it's really easy. Because if they file charges, they can just say, we want a quick and speedy trial. Well, there's no way we can get you to Delphi that quick. Exactly. We win. Peace. That's how it would operate. They wait till a conviction. They go down, talk to him. Then they can file charges, bring him back, and try him. And that's what we all want. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel that that's what we all want. So this is what I'm waiting for, is that. Now, in that meantime, there isn't anything new on Delphi. And it doesn't bother me being on here because I enjoy having a show. and I enjoy seeing everybody each week. And, and I do miss that. And I miss sitting here each week, for like that. But it seems very Groundhog Day, just repeating myself all the time. Because all I was doing was just repeating what I had said the week before and the week before that and the week before that. Well, I didn't want to sit here and just, constantly make each week the same thing over and over again. And I think that most people would have gotten it would have gotten old pretty quick. So I'm just kind of hanging loose on that and biding my time. But then, again, when it comes down to it, see, on August 2nd, when court begins where he's got to be there, then we'll get the latest pictures. Then the Delphi talk will pick back up. Then, and it will start becoming more of a topic matter. And we should be able to get a lot of things out of that court case. Anything that's brought forward that we can look at and I can already connected back to Delphi, that would be really good. And I think that is going to happen once he goes to jury trial. Hi, Bantry. How you doing? Silky She. Mary Norad, AJ, Terry. Glad you all made it. Oh, hang on. Let me kind of pull that down here. But if you did not see my show, please go to this right here. This is Nick Graziano's channel. And I don't think I was his last show, but the one before that. You can check that out. It's a lot of fun. So anyway, I'm kind of opening this up a little bit question and answer because I think that most people have like newer questions. Now, I got a hold of Incognito Society earlier and asked her if she wanted to join me tonight. And she couldn't. She already had a previous date lined up. But she was talking about him going to court on the 16th of April. And she said probably people would have an interest in that and have some questions on it. Well, I don't really have any answers on that. I don't really have any answers. I mean, we're just going to have to wait until he goes to court and see what happens thereafter. The one thing that does kind of, not curiosity wise, but more as, it may pertain to Delphi. Like, why was the guy that brutal? Here's a guy that everybody thought was the greatest guy ever. I mean, what would make him that brutal toward a helpless woman? It just seems kind of counterplay as the way that the guy would have been, being a preacher and so forth. But I don't know, man. We're just going to have to see. I kind of assumed that he might try to play like insanity or something like that. But I don't know how he could. I mean, if you do something and then you try to cover it up, it's wrong. You see where I'm at? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, and he is. And, it just, I don't know, man. I guess I just don't have any understanding of that. I don't have a brutal bone in my body, honestly. But, man, there's people out there, and it's always the last people you'd suspect. It's those people that you would fully trust, just like all his friends fully trusted the guy. They said, if I didn't know that the law enforcement had the right guy, I would believe they had the wrong guy because he's just a really good guy. He's a great guy, great friend, like that. We'll see how that plays out. Yeah. Oh, shit. No. Well, I just dumped my soda. That ain't cool. Wiped out my 2018 calendar. That ain't cool either. I hadn't missed anything in that. Radar, man. How you doing? Yeah, well, I don't have a laptop. I have a keyboard that is interchangeable with another keyboard. I can wipe out a keyboard. But man, if it went in my computer, I'd be, screwed blue. Body Camworth? Who's Body Camworth? You know, if Puppy's doing good, we generally spend quite a bit of our time in the woods. Gives him time to get out, explore, do puppy stuff. I got a lot of video of that. And in fact, I was going to make a video, and it was going to be called Figador Treely, a proud nudist of the woods. Just have him out there running around, climbing up logs, stuff like that, man. It's just kind of a cool video to make. No. Oh, wait. Well, they know who did it. I mean, I give them that. They know who, but they can't say who. But once the guy goes to court and they get a conviction, then it will come out. Then we'll see charges filed probably by late September or October of this year. And that is the hope I have. Amber Alert. Oh, okay. Just seen your name. David Clark. So if anybody does have questions, throw them in the chat over here. Just throw it up, man. I'll highlight it. And, Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Sharon. You're the best. I will tell everybody that last night while I was sleeping, Bitcoin went up dramatically. It went from 59 up to 63.5. That was real good, gang. So if anybody was listening when I said, put some of your money into Bitcoin, you'll be happy about it. Today, you're happy about it. You just made some big money while you was in bed last night. No, I have not. Nope. Nor will I, because I don't watch other people's videos. I don't want my mind with their thoughts in it. It clouds my mind. I know what happened. I live here. I've talked to these people. I have made 4 years of this case. 4 years. I know what transpired there to a degree. I know the timing. I got pretty good ideas to, how it played out time-wise, just by following like law enforcement, as to what they say. You get a very good idea who, what, where, when, how. But that's got to, it's got to go to court for any of that to be shown. And I'm not really just trying to be right. It's just more of, if you know what you're looking for, it's easier to find. And if people just watch everybody's videos, I question, how do they know anything? You see where I'm at? If I sit down and all I did was look through everybody's videos trying to find out what's right and what's wrong, how would I know what's right and wrong? You see? How would I know? I don't know if this is right or that's right, or hey, maybe this guy over here is right. Maybe they're all wrong. I wouldn't know. But when I look through, then I have my questions. And that's kind of how this began. Me and Greeno was sitting here for the first 2 years. And that's all we did was discuss the case and run through like theories. Like, well, what if this happened? What if it went down like this? What if the person came, like that? Because with each one, when we would sit and really think about it, the two of us, we would come up with some really good reasoning as to why it could have, maybe, or couldn't have. Now, and a lot of times it was, well, Jason, take it how you like, but the thing is that when I'm like really looking at a case, I don't really, how would I put it? If I'm talking to somebody who just doesn't have a clue, who just doesn't have a clue. And when Greeno was here, I mean, we both had a pretty good idea. We had talked to the right people. Trooper Riley, both of us did interviews with Tobe Lesenby. We had spoken to Flannel Shirt Guy, it wasn't much of an interview, but spoke with the lady that was walking her dogs that day, but she could not answer any question. She was like very, I can't even speak about it. So yes, it does. Yeah, absolutely it does. Now you see back here, right behind me, that's the real sketch. That's the real sketch. That is. Now, they never said, now I've heard people go, well, there was a young couple down at the bridge, and when he walked by, he leered at him. And I'm all like, yeah, it just sounds like you made that shit up. It's what it sounds like. If somebody was walking by there and you thought that they was a hiker, you would never give them a second thought, period. The second sketch was made to look like a younger TV. Not like the first one where somebody look at it and go, holy crap, that's Thomas Bruce. That's what they didn't want. They didn't want anybody coming up with that. Now, I mean, like I say, man, they will come out with the whole of it. If they don't, I'd have issue because I would go, wow, that son of a bitch is sitting down there getting away with murder. Wonder why. GH and WJ. Who's GH and JW, if I may ask? I'm not sure who they are right on top of my head. Yeah, no. See, and right here's the thing. We talked to that lady. That lady talked to him for like 2 minutes. Now, the other person, Flannel Shirt Guy, walked by him. You are not going to get any information, especially if you don't think that that person is suspicious. You're not going to look at him. You're not going to get a good picture of their face. You're going to walk by him. Hi, how you doing? Pretty good. You? All right. And about your way. 2 days later, you wouldn't remember a thing about their face. You wouldn't, period. Now, if you were sitting there talking to a person, if I was talking to you, you was talking to me, then we'd get a good idea of the other's face because we're sitting there staring at it, while we talk, man. That's how you get, GH. I got you. Okay, yeah. Didn't think about that. But she's the one that got the most details of the guy's face. And that's where the first sketch right here came from. Now, I'll tell you right now, if you sit right there and you talk to somebody for a couple of minutes, would you go, I don't know if they was 18 or 40 or, I don't know. No, you wouldn't. Of course not. You would have a general idea, about what age he is. I could talk to anybody and tell you within 5 years about how old they are. It's not that hard. Nobody's going to look at somebody and go, oh, they could have been 18, maybe. No. That was just the briefing hype. It was just to give a different spin to it. That's why they named it A New Direction. You didn't think we'd change our investigative style, but we are. Really? I didn't even know you guys were using an investigative style to begin with. That was my question at the first year press conference. That's why they didn't want me back for the second press conference. My question's a little bit too real. They don't like that. They like, oh, hey, Rafael Sanchez. Yeah, why don't you go first, pal, huh? Yeah, we already know your question. We don't care. It makes good media. But we don't want that guy asking questions. It makes us look bad. And we're law enforcement. So, yeah. Oh, geez. Jason, don't put that up there. Man, everybody's going to go out there and look for that and go, holy shit, it was GK's gay lover that did it. Yeah, well, I'll tell you right now, GK's a waste of time. I don't waste my time on that. I knew better right away. I know the guy had never committed a crime, never got caught committing a crime. So if you can go back and find crimes that they committed prior to, guess what? It ain't them. Period. And I don't give a crap what he says to get attention while sitting in jail. Woo, whoopty, woo, woo, woo. Don't give a damn. Yeah. Well, he is. Now, law enforcement came out after the fact. You know, when they released the first sketch, they said he's, I forget how old it was. I mean, where they was pointing at, but they said he could look younger than his real age. Right. Well, it depends. I mean, like if you look at the mugshot, the initial mugshot of TV, he did not look his age. I mean, he did look younger. He didn't really have any wrinkles on his face. Had a good black eye. Thanks, law enforcement, for that. But, it's the thing. The guy does look a little, but they already knew who did it. They've known for 2 years who did it. And I'm telling you right now, they know who did it. And you'll know they know who did it as soon as they come out with who did it. And you say, hey, that Michael guy, he knew. He did know. And I don't even know. I mean, once it's done, great. Great. Because then the question is answered for everybody. Everybody knows at that time. Everybody will know who did it. So it won't be the big question as to who did it. Then it will become what it should be about. Like, why did this guy do that? Why would any person do that? Jason, honestly, I don't really care about GK. Please. If you don't mind. Until I've been gone a while. Like, I don't even know some of these people. I mean, I don't know some of the people you guys are talking about. And it's almost morel season. If anybody out there hunts morels. We used to go up to the UP of Michigan when I was growing up. We would go up there as soon as I got out of school on May 20th. We'd go up there for 2 weeks. We had 72 acres up there in the deep woods. Man, we'd go out on like the 3-wheelers, the golf cart. Man, one year we found an entire deep freeze full within 2 weeks, completely filled it. It wasn't even like reason to go back out after that, man. We filled everything up, I love morels, and we used to have them. I mean, like we would keep them, we'd cut them, soak them, freeze them. And then all we had to do was unthaw them, batter and fry them. Had them all year long. I miss those days. We could have like mushrooms anytime we wanted, man. Anytime. Man, today, man, you get like $30 a pound for morels in Indiana. $30 a pound. Thought, man, what I need to do is get my butt back up to the UP, pick an entire deep freeze, and come back and retire. Do it like that, man. Mansalona? Is that Pennsylvania? I'm guessing. Hey, no, how you doing? Yeah, man. I miss being here. I do, man. I really do, because man, I miss the community over here. I miss having somebody just to relate to each week. I don't really. I mean, I don't go out. I don't really go socialize. I used to. I don't anymore, man. But you sit down, man, and you got the same people over here, each week, and it does, man. It kind of adds a little bit. You know what? I would be very happy to explain that to you. But mind you, I'm a little elementary. I mean, I know what it is, blockchain technology. It's got a cap on it. Everything's going to Bitcoin. Visa, Chase Manhattan, PayPal's accepting Bitcoin, eBay. Tomorrow, Coinbase gets their IPO. They're probably looking at $100 billion or more. That's going to substantially increase the cost of Bitcoin. So, probably while I sleep tonight, there will be some money made on Bitcoin. Yeah, I do too. I do, man. Oh, wait. Hold on. Let me get back up here. No. It ain't your opinions. It's not your opinions. It has nothing to do with that. It isn't that. It's not your opinions, but it's just carrying on with GK. I mean, like, I'm not steering it to GK. In fact, I wish everybody get over GK and kind of start looking for the real guy. It has nothing to do with your opinions at all, Oh, hey, man, watcher. Thank you, man. Let's throw that up there, man. And that right there in chat is for Bitcoin money. Just FYI, because if you don't want to put any money in Bitcoin, if you are solid in your investment in the United States dollar, carry on. But when the dollar goes away, in shortcoming, Bitcoin's going through the roof. It is decentralized. It does not belong to a nation. And third world countries are really looking at it as to take over their economy. They think, hey, this has no cap. It has a cap at 21 million. It has no debt. We could use this for our money and pay people in Satoshis, which is 100 millionth of a Bitcoin. So I don't know, man. I'm big on Bitcoin. I mean, it took me a long time. In fact, I'll tell you how it happened. I was watching Gregory Mannarino, and I heard him say it for I don't even know how many times he had said it. So to other people, you need to look into Bitcoin. If you're not looking into Bitcoin, you need to look into Bitcoin. Finally, man, I mean, after hearing it so many times, I looked at Figure and I'm like, dude, I'm looking into Bitcoin. And I started looking into it. Within 6 hours, I'm like, yeah, this looks pretty good. Within 12, I'm like, yeah, I'm putting some money into Bitcoin. After about 6 more, I'm like, that's it, man. You know what? Everything I have is going to Bitcoin. And everything I have is in Bitcoin right now. Well, Bitcoin is not a coin. I mean, understand. I mean, like if you buy Bitcoin, it's cryptocurrency. It's like money that you buy that you can pay online. As an example, if I owe somebody something in another country, I can send them that amount in Bitcoin and it's there instantly. You see, there is like really very little, if any, fee. And the speculation on its cost just keeps going up. They're looking at it being worth $100,000 per Bitcoin by the end of this year. $500,000 in 2025 and $1 million before 2030. So I'm going to put my money into as much Bitcoin as I can. Now they say if you have 0.01 Bitcoin, you're good to go. If you have 0.028 Bitcoin, then mathematically you'll always be in the top 1% Bitcoin holders. Right now I have 0.0378 Bitcoin. So, and I put more money into Cardano and Ethereum. So, I mean, they're a very worthy investment. They are the fastest $1 trillion industry ever. It is the largest human asset in history, the biggest wealth save. It's good to be at least have some of your money in Bitcoin. If you don't know about Bitcoin, you can get on YouTube, look up Bitcoin. You can find some good reference videos of some people out there. I like Gregory Mannarino, but he's a stock market analyst. He mainly talks stock in the market. Now, I did a interview with him that was like 6 years ago. I mean, I was watching his channel and I'm like, this guy knows more than just the stock market. He's got some insight on like what's going on out there. And I think it was like last month, he had 2 back-to-back shows on Alex Jones, which doesn't say a lot, but Alex Jones is a lot bigger than I am currently. So I like Mannarino. And really, when it comes to money, the guy's very smart, man. He stacks silver. He has X amount of his portfolio in Bitcoin, and he's on there and he talks about when crypto has a good day. And when crypto has a good day, I have a good day. You know, I wish that they grew a little bit better than what they do in Indiana. I mean, you can go out in a good woods and find some, but man, I mean, it's like up in Michigan, when you hit the deep woods, you can just go back through there on the fire lanes. Dead tree, pull over, go check it out. I went over like, man, and I mean, there's just like 200-300 around this tree popping up through the leaves. It's sick, man. You know, and that's where a person needs to go if they want to make some morale money. Go up there, pick them, bring them back down to Indiana, sell them along the highway at $30 a pound. You got money for a long minute. What? You want a koala bear? Hey, Angie Bear, how you doing? Oh, Nick Hamilton, man. Yeah, man, I don't know, man. Sloths are really slow, real slow. Did you guys ever watch it? Man, what was his name? Is Zootopia? I forget what the joke was. What was that joke he told the sloth? It's pretty funny. Whatever it was, I remember it. Long time back. Maybe. I might. I kind of do that a little bit. I mean, if there's anybody out there that wants to go out to Monon High Bridge and, you know, a tour of it, believe me, I know that place as well as my backyard now. And I see, man, I don't know, man. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different people that I've met that we went out there, you know. And it's true. When you go out there, when you walk the trail, you know, from the beginning down to the bridge, I'm not saying a person has to, but if you cross the bridge, I mean, you really get a good idea as to the timing that's involved. You know, at this right here happened at this point, this happened at this point, and he was right here exiting at 247. So, you know, you get a good idea. If you've never been out there, it's a little hard to understand. I mean, it's just like following a map online. I mean, you just go, bet you hadn't been there. You never walked it. But if you go there and walk it, man, you get a really good idea, you know, as to the time that was involved. And I would like to say, because people are really kind of creeped out by that bridge, but that bridge is steady. I mean, you know, it ain't going anywhere, man, at all. You know, that thing's been there for over, God, what, 125 years, and no one has ever fell off and died. Not one person ever fell off that bridge and died. You're not going through railroad ties. It will still hold the train. You know, but people, when they get up there, man, especially the first time they're walking across it, man, they're like, man, just tiptoeing, go like, oh no, you know, like they're going to fall. But once you get across it, you know, once you get across the way back, man, you're like a lot better idea. You can get back, you know, a lot quicker. But once you've crossed it and went back, it's really easy. On Bitcoin, you know what? You can buy $5 worth of Bitcoin. Now, what I would advise, if you want to invest in Bitcoin, don't buy it on PayPal. You can't withdraw. You know, you can't get your money back out of that. But now if you go, now I went to, on my computer, I go to Coinbase Pro because their fees very, very small. I mean, like the first time when I bought it, I paid like $1.50 fee. I thought, man, I paid more than that out of an ATM, you know. But if you want to put money into Bitcoin, if you just put, like, seriously, man, say you put $20 in Bitcoin and then watched it as the price of Bitcoin goes up and you see your $20 going up, say, hey, wait, man, if I put like 200 in Bitcoin, you know, And that's what I started doing. I mean, I just got to a point where it's like, you know, hey man, if I get like X amount of free money that I don't need to go spend, I hold it in Bitcoin because it's all the time going up. Yeah, well, exactly. No, it's true. Now, when we went out there with Tony, me and Greeno, and we was walking across, man, we got that on that video, you know, of me, him, and Tony going out there. Tony was just like very, you know, when he's walking, he's just, you know, kind of wigged out by the height of it. Man, he just like he thought he was losing his footing, man. And I mean, like he's just grabbing, eyes wide open, you know. It's just that sudden panic. We're like, dude, man, you're okay, man. Don't freak out. You know, you got like so much to the side of you. You ain't going to just fall off the side of that. Nah. You know, it seems that way, but when you're out there, once you're on it, it ain't that bad. It really ain't. Man, first time me and Greeno went out there, and that was like right after it happened, man. They started the cops, everything was still there. And we went down and we're like, all right, man, there's the bridge, you know? So we just started right on across. And we got over to the other side, got video, got back. And every time we go out there, man, I went out there, man, I never made that video yet. I apologize. I will make it. I will make it now. You'll see. You'll see how I make it. But I went out there in January of 2019. Right? No, it was after that. No, I'm sorry. It was January of 2020. It was just over a year ago. I went out there and there was like this much snow on the ground. It was cold. It was like 22, something like that. And I walked all the way down, man, just straight path, man, from where he parked down to the bridge, across the bridge, down the thing, across the creek, over to the area. And then I killed the camera and walked around it twice. Went back to where I killed the camera, turned it back on, and then got out of there in the same manner that I felt he did, you know, and straight back. It was just straight line walk, you know, that way you just general walking time, not a fast walk, not a slow walk, just one foot in front of the other, you know, and just do it like that. It was cold, but it was good video. And I did that a few times. That way I could get everybody's time parameter, you know, as to where that they would have been, minus any time that they may have stopped. Just like Cheyenne, flannel shirt guy. You know, the girls, they spent 28 minutes before they even went to the bridge. So we don't know what happened through that time, but we know at what times where they were at which areas. And so I could add all that together and show that, okay, here is where the girls got to there. This is where the guy was. This is where he made contact with them. This is where, you know, and then just lead it right back. And that should show to a time, because when it gets to 2:47, approximately, give or take 30 seconds from that area, forward or backward, is about where he was, like right at that time. Serendipity, what up? At the read, would have been at the read. I'm not sure. Oh, hey. Yeah, man. Baxter Wonder Dog. Him and I went out to the bridge and crossed. Baxter can cross that bridge quickly. He's did not bother him a touch. He didn't care. Now his parents cared a little bit. Oh, I still got the old hat. I still got the old one. I sent the new hat back. I do have my revolutionary hat, and I have my suede hat, but the suede hat's too big. It's too big. I like a sleek hat, man. Sleek hat. I don't want looking big like it's some kind of painter's beret. I don't want that, man. But Yeah. Yeah. Well, they did. I remember when they used to cross it. Now, it was back before I knew the bridge was there. But when my dad moved out there, he moved on County Road 200, and that was in 86, I believe. It was, yeah, 86. And they closed the tracks down, I believe, in 87. But when he first moved out there, I'd drive over to Delphi, this and that, all the time. And I remember when the trains would be going down through there. I remember having to stop a couple of times. My brother almost wiped out one time on a motorcycle on those tracks. Hit him going really quick, man. Almost lost it. He said, I had to wipe when I got home. Yeah, that's right. I like a sleek hat, man. I love this hat. God, man, I wish there was another hat like it. I don't. There came a time with TB. When I heard his name and I went and looked him up, because I was looking for his mugshot. And when I seen his mugshot, I'm like, ooh, man, yeah, that's really close. That's real close. So that kind of led me into investigating, his finances, his bankruptcy, his job loss, where he had lived, all of that. And it was just everything that I came up with. I mean, he lost a long-term job 1 month before each crime. He was unemployed during each crime. He's a sadistic serial killer. I mean, he had already killed 2, to my knowledge, in Genesee County, Michigan, when he lived there in Flint. The guy's brutal. And I mean, if my words don't explain it well, I mean, look at what happened at the Catholic supply store. Who would do that? Who? Only a very sick man. A very, very sick man. Normal person is not wrapped like that. Now, a person could say, well, suddenly at 52 years old, he just flipped out. Wrong. They start way before that. Usually by the time they're about 30, they're already committing these acts. And that takes me right back to Susan Collins at the base in Tennessee. The same way. That was very brutal. Now, they killed the guy in 2006 for that crime, who claimed he was innocent, but I don't know why he ever admitted to it to begin with. But when Barry Scheck says that TB was at that base at that time, then I believe that Barry Scheck is right. I mean, he would know. And if he was at that base at that time, as Barry Scheck suggests that he was, yeah, they killed the wrong guy. And I can go right back to TB's letter to the editor when he was talking about he don't like when people get killed, even for a horrendous crime. Well, of course not, because he didn't get his how do I want to put it? It wasn't pointed at as an unknown person, which he thought it would be. And when he seen that somebody else got hit with that crime and admitted to it and they killed him, that probably upset him pretty bad. Because, it wasn't like this unknown person that we've been, wasn't like that. Yeah. And not only does he fit, I mean, there came a time when I was looking into him. It was like any question that I could come up with that I could go find out. It all pointed to him. It all did. And there came a time when I'm like, yeah, it all points to him for a reason. I mean, the chances of a person being a sadistic serial killer is more than 1 in 3.5 million people to 1. You just don't see them popping up in Indiana, Illinois, shit like that all the damn time. So when one does pop up and, just happens to look like your sketch. Gee, he was dressed just like Bridge Guy. He had never been caught committing a crime, had no DNA or fingerprints to be checked till we got him. And then it starts pointing that, yeah, this is likely the guy. But when you start looking into it and seeing that all the, everything fits right down to being unemployed, all of it. I mean, finances, everything the FBI was looking for, yeah, there comes that time when it's like, yeah, this is the guy. This is him. And I know why it connected back. It was the fingerprints. That's what told them he could be the guy from Delphi. They didn't just happen to know about the case. It was given to him when his fingerprints came back as the Delphi unknowns. That's why they called Carroll County. Hey, Lori Smith. Yeah, you know what? California, for whatever reason, I mean, if you're looking for like a serial killer of that kind of magnitude, that's the place to look. Of all serial killers I can name, most of them, most all, were arrested or, committed their crime in California at some area, be it San Francisco, LA, Northern California, even San Diego. There's a lot out there. There's a lot. Big cities, man. Just, I don't know. I can't put a thing on that, but big cities draw a lot of strange people. Because I'll put it to you like this, man, if you're just going to go kill somebody, if that's what you're about, going and killing somebody brutally. Well, man, if you're in a town of a few hundred people, you see, it really narrows down who could have did that. But if you're in LA or San Francisco or something like that and they find a dead body, it's just another dead body. You go pick up a hooker or whatever and then go do that, yeah, they'll be missed, but they're not going to put all of law enforcement behind that because it was just a prostitute. You see where I'm at? What? Oh, I thought you meant there were 71 thumbs up. I'm like, all right, man. Well done, people. Jeez. Very well done. I just wanted to get on here, touch base with everybody, let everybody know, man. It wasn't like I wasn't doing anything on the case, but there's just nothing new. I mean, everything that was new, everything that I could put back on this, I mean, I gave. But the time is coming. And, when it gets here, then it's good. The Delphi talk will pick back up again. When he goes to court down there on August 2nd, you're going to hear a lot of talk about Delphi. And when that picks up, I'll be there. I will be there at least to give my thoughts on that. I kind of disagree. The donors gave it for a reason. Now, if it was, and doesn't matter whom, but if a person had called in who did it and, gave them the information that would, create the case and then convict him, then that person would, they got the case. You see where I'm at? They did that. Now, I didn't do that. I got that name from the media and then did my own research into that. But, while you say give it back to the donors, well, the donors gave it for a reason. And honestly, myself, my thoughts on it, I would like to see the bigger part of it go to the families and the county, because the county had to spend money and there is no paying a family because the kid will never come home. You couldn't pay them $1 trillion and make it enough, but it is kind of, we're very sorry that this happened, especially in Delphi, Indiana, of all places. It was unthought of. I mean, when I read that, I'm like, in Delphi, really? I mean, that it was mind blowing that something like that would happen in the little bitty town of Delphi, right up the road. It was crazy, and I don't know that the families need the money. But it would be good to see them have that money, because that's like $250,000. And, something, even if it was to benefit the names of the kids, the softball park, anything like that, that would be money that could definitely help them with that. And Sons of Anarchy. Well, I don't know about Sons of Anarchy. I've never watched it, but I don't watch television, and people kind of find that a little weird. But nah, I did go back so many years ago. I had a friend down here, and that's all he did was watch movies, and I would go down there normally for an hour every night, and there would be television on, but it was weird. with this case because they're down there and they had the television on actually while they sleep. You know, that dude did not like to be without television on. And on the night of the 14th at 11:30 p.m. when I left her house and I got home and when I checked Fox News is when I found out about it. Now I went down and told them because one of the girls' names, their daughter, who is the same age, had a friend that was named the same. Not the same last name, but the same first name. And I didn't know what her last name was. And I went down and I asked them if they had heard from Liberty. And they were like, oh, yeah, she called a little while ago. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I told them what happened. They're like, really? And I'm like, yeah. Well, we hadn't even heard about it. They didn't have an Amber Alert. And man, we only live like 20 some miles from Delphi, just straight through the country right here, you know, and it was very weird that we didn't hear about it, you know, because it seemed at that time, especially when it's on Fox News online, you know, as the head story on there, that it would have been on the news or they would have broke in or said something about it. But we did not know until almost the 15th. Yeah, it was just kind of strange. You know, I don't know. No, I really don't. But I will say this. Okay, let me put it like this. In Carroll County, Indiana, there are 2 unsolved cases of murder. There's the Delphi murders that we all know about. And then there's the Amber Green, which they said he abducted and killed Luella Mabbitt. Well, he never went to court on that. And there's a lot that really points, hey, maybe he didn't kill her. Because the way that it's told by his brother was that she had gotten pregnant, and this is in 1860s, understand, and they weren't married. So he took her to go get an abortion, which was in Kokomo, and she was bleeding out and died, and he buried her. Now, because that happened, and he did not want to say she was pregnant and this and that, because people didn't like Amber Green. So him and his brother took off. Now, with that in mind, hold on. When him and his brother, Amber Green, they fled down to Texas. Well, Cass County Sheriff in Logansport, Buck Stanley, you know, he figured out by following the mail from from their mom's house in Young America to where they were. It went to a family member, to another family member, to them, and then from them back to that family member, back to this family member, and then back to their mom. And once he got that and he knew whereabouts they were down in Texas, he rode down there on horseback, found them, arrested them, and brought them back on horseback. He did that for $3,000, which Carroll County put up as the reward. When he brought him to Carroll County and gave him over to Carroll County goes, yeah, we ain't giving you the reward. You're law enforcement. That's your job. We're not giving you the reward. And he was very bitter about that. But it's right and true. Why would law enforcement receive a reward when they're doing their job? You know, you don't give somebody a reward for doing your job. You know, that's your job. You know, if that reward is to go anywhere, it should be to a tipster. And, you know, just me, and I mean, like, I could not say what another person would do, but they would firstly never offer me that money. And if they did, I would tell them that I needed to go to the parents in both cases, Evansdale and Delphi, because they're the ones that need it. You know, it ain't me sitting here at a computer doing stuff that deserves that kind of money. I don't deserve that money, you know, and it should go to the families. And that is my word on it. Period. I would make sure the families got that money if I was law enforcement, unless it went to a tipster, you know, unless somebody had told them everything they needed to know, I would make sure it went to the family. TV signatures. You know what? That's kind of hard to say. It really is, because when they said there was 3+, I thought, well, we don't know. I mean, we have an idea. I mean, I think we all have an idea, but we don't know what the crime, you know, what exactly took place. And that may have held signatures. because you have like the post-mortem and the pre-mortem, things that people do that fall outside of just the killing part, and those are the signatures. But if you're looking at odd signatures, well, the simple fact that the guy was videotaped and audio taped, those are two very distinct signatures, but I don't know if they would classify them as signatures to the murder or not. So I don't really know. Now, I would presume that there was a staging event that took place because serial killers like to do that. And why? I don't know. Maybe it tells the people that found him, law enforcement, that, hey, this guy did it. This unknown guy that from these other crimes, blah, 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 did this. You see where I'm at? So it could have been a staging of the scene itself, which would be signature, especially post-mortem. But I really don't know the signatures. I can't really touch upon that. Yeah, I'm with you. But a doctor did it. Now the doctor, again, this came from his brother, Amber's brother, and his brother, which it was weird because his brother killed a guy in Young America. The guy was big, and Amber's brother, Amber's like 6'2", built like Hercules, people feared Amber, but his brother was a little short guy, hunchback, like that. Now, this guy was really big. I told him they was having a party at the park there. He said, hey, come on over, man. How you doing, buddy? And then blam, nailed the guy right in the face, man. Just knocked him out. Well, the guy got up, man. And he said, I'll be back. Well, he took off down the highway. Well, the highway. It was a trail, horse trail at that time. But later on that evening, that guy was in a horse and buggy and was going by him and yelled something. And the guy stopped the horse and buggy and started going back toward Amber's brother. Amber's brother had a gun. He shot at it. He aimed it, and he told him to stay back or he'd shoot him. Guy kept going. He shot at his feet, and he said, if you continue at me, I will kill you. Guy continued on. He shot and killed him. Now, I look at that in 1860s under common law as self-preservation. They gave him 25 years for it. But he took off with his brother after Luella Mabbitt, became missing. Actually, when she became missing, they took off. Now, he had to do 25 years for murder. It just seemed like a little backwards. I wouldn't have gave anybody any time for that. I would have said, well, man, the guy should have stopped, got back on his horse, and quit trying to be a douchebag. But the doctor didn't want, and that was one of Amber's words before they hung him in. Mr. Mabbitt, Luella's dad, he said, well, what happened? So, he told him, he says, no, she's still alive. And said that he was down there and gave a guy's name down in Texas, so on, so on, so on. And they looked the guy up, and the guy had moved to Chicago, but they couldn't find him. It seemed a little weird, but anyway, the whole of it is that the doctor had told me, you just didn't say that, a doctor did an abortion. Well, he was sticking to his word on that. And Amber Green said, look, you guys came here to hang me. Just get about your business, because it don't matter what I say, you're still going to hang me. You know the same as I do. And they ended up hanging him. Hey, you know what, man? That's kind of a good thought. That is, man. That's kind of I would doubt it, but then again, I found it a little odd that they brung the shack up like that. And I thought that they was probably doing it because of the family, because to watch that, it could, now I watched The Shack. It wasn't my type of movie. It really wasn't. But at the same time, I could see where, like, watching that, viewing it, for the family could give them a better insight into, yeah, there's just some really bad people, and the loss of our daughter, one, but to God, their daughter and the killer are both their creation. God loves them individually in the same way. So, it would be very hard to be God, to see that, because for one, you don't want him to do this, but at the same time, it's the whole that, your creation is doing this to another. And for that reason, I could see where, it could help the family. I watched that, and I mean, I still do here and there. I got it recorded and watched the helicopter footage. But when it gets to like right there where it freezes, man, I think that they did that purposely, because that was, I mean, of course, all the cars were right there at the cemetery and they were down there, but they wasn't really showing, what was going on at that time. Yeah, I do. I really do. At the Catholic supply store, I reckon that back to C.C. Moore. In July of 2018, they arrested John D. Miller in Fort Wayne, Indiana, for a 30-year-old rape and murder of 8-year-old April Tinsley. Now, they had his DNA. She got on the case with the familial DNA, traced that down to a family name, and had to manually do a family tree down to 2 brothers. She says it's one of these 2 guys. They went through their trash, got their DNA, and then found that it was John D. Miller and went and arrested him. Now, when that happened, we made a video about that. And just like right after we had made the video, because we had reached CC Moore, and she answered back on our comment, with the video to CC Moore. And I think that's on my channel here. And she answered us back on there, and she said, yeah, I've known about the Delphi case since it happened. And if law enforcement asked me to, I'd be happy to look into that. Now, at that same time, Logansport paper put in there that Carroll County was going to be using the same technology as what got John D. Miller. So when they did that, that kind of put 2 months on it, because she started that in May of 2018, and he was arrested in July of 2018, 2 months later. So when you think that this guy, okay, who is a proud Scott, they already had their DNA, their family tree all done. So I think that he felt at that time that within 2 months they was going to come knocking at his door for all this, all the murders. So no, that was me. Sorry, puppy. So, I think it was right after that. July, August, September is when he sexually assaulted the 77-year-old. Puppy, quit. And then the following month was the traffic pullover in October. That was around his birthday. And then the month after, in November, is when he did the Catholic supply store. Now, I think he did the Catholic supply store in knowing. I think he did that seeking cop suicide. He had a handgun, thought they'd come knocking at his door for it, shoot out and die. That ain't the way it happened. They kicked his door in and went in, blacked his eye, taking him down. Right on law enforcement. Puppy, it's me, damn it. Just eat, dude. You don't know my voice. It's possible. It could be. I mean, we would really have to know the reason why. I kind of felt it was for the family, more than any. I mean, I'll put it to you like this. Law enforcement does not go out and tell you who did it without telling you who did it. You see where I'm at? They don't subliminally tell you who did it. They don't do that, man. That's like a little below what law enforcement's going to do. But, it's if there was a reason why they used this shack rather than anything else, I don't know. And in fact, it seems unlikely, because if they knew it was this shack, and they knew, and they did, they already knew who did it during the briefing. So I don't think that in knowing who did it and him using the shack, that they would relate the shack back to him while he's in jail, because it seems a little, why? You know, why would they do that? They know who the guy is, and they know the guy knows, and they know who it is. So it just seems kind of more irrelevant to do it like that. Now, if it was for the family, I could understand, because in a situation like that, I mean, that movie would really hold some kind of answers, you know, things to help you through it. And I felt that that's what it was about. But again, I can't claim to know, because I don't. Mitch Green. Mitchell Green. So, let's see. Oh, Mitch, if you didn't see my video on Bitcoin, look into Bitcoin. Everybody, 81 people here. Hit the thumbs up, firstly. Always hit the thumbs up. It does good for YouTube. And they see me as a prominent man. Because I am. You see, none of us know. Yeah. Yeah. It's been over 4 years. And that's the frustrating part. I mean, when I got a hold of Greeno, like right after I found out, man, it was on the 15th, the morning of the 15th. I had made a video, and that was on my old channel. That was the first video I made on Delphi. And I got a hold of Greeno, and I thought he was down in South Carolina. I'm like, dude, you got to get back here, man. I said, there's been a horrible crime that happened in Delphi. And kind of briefly explained, I said, you got to get back here, man, because we really need to like cover this. In fact, I told him, I'm like, arrest is imminent. In fact, man, I'm kind of surprised the guy hasn't been arrested already. And I mean, like, as soon as I sent that to him, he got back a hold of me. He's like, dude, I'm in Delphi now. I'm like, what? Yeah, I'm in Delphi right now, dude. I'm heading your way. He was here within an hour and a half. And I mean, we spent like just 2 years on it. Every day, all day, all of it. It really helped me to understand the, you know, both of us to understand the case at a good level. And I don't know, man. I don't really like saying that a person needs to go out there. You know, I don't want it to sound like that. But you got to understand that if you're out there, man, you just get such an idea about it, you know, by walking that. You know, you can really put the time together and, I mean, like really see it in a different way. If you've never been out there, you're just taking people's word on what they say. And I don't know, man. I mean, I think that people that are really, really, really have an interest in this case need to stop out there and at least just walk that little course, you know, not across the bridge and down, man. Believe me, they get very upset about that. Very upset about that. You know, they'll tell you, you're like, yeah, there ain't no easement here. We're calling the cops, dude. I'm like, oh, wait, we was just hiking. It's cool. We're leaving. But the thing is, I mean, once you go there and you walk across that bridge, then you can see right down. You can go right down the other way and look back across as to where they crossed at, you know, to where the girls were found at. And it really adds a lot of insight. It really does. Wait, what? East Tennessee, really? You know what? My family's from Campbell County, Tennessee, right there, Jellicoe, La Follette, my dad's side. The Boltons. Yeah, that's right. Michael Bolton would have been my name. Didn't happen like that. You know? I didn't have to be Michael Bolton like that guy in that movie, but it was close. Man, I'm glad my parents didn't get married, though. I mean, like, you know, they were great friends and whatnot, but I don't think they would have made it married wise. Oh, really? See, man, you need to get a hold of me. You need to get a hold of me, man. We can set up a time where I could meet you out there, and you know, I could just take you around there. It's only a 15-minute walk from the main parking area to the bridge. It's your first time across, you're probably going to be about 5-6 minutes crossing the bridge, but it's easier going back. You know, it's not a long walk. You know, it's not a big area. The property that I rent here is bigger than the entire trail, you know, and it's just not that big. Four years. Yeah, exactly. 4 years. And again, that's what I was saying. Like when I got a hold of Greeno, like even when he got here, man, we thought like the guy would be arrested while we was like, you know, overnight, you know, that the guy would probably be arrested. As a couple days went by, we're like, man, what the hell? You know, like this should be easy. They got his picture, they got his audio. They, you know, it just seemed to us, especially off the bat, that if the guy's from around Delphi, Carroll County, the whole of Carroll County is 20,000 people. Well, everybody in Carroll County seen that photo. Man, woman, and child, and even puppies seen that photo. You know, and it just seemed like if there was anybody who knew who it was, they would have been arrested rather quickly. Nobody knew. And what happens after 2 years and so many months, Carroll County comes out and says, we now feel the guy's from around Delphi. Well, I'm watching the television and I'm like, yeah, bullshit, man. I know better. I know better than that. And so do you. And why are you playing everybody? You know, that was my ordeal. Why are you playing everybody? I mean, I could understand. They don't want people to know because they don't want all the questions. They have to wait till it gets a conviction down there. But that was my only thought. You know, that was it. That's the only reason why I thought, well, they're not telling anybody. But the thing is why give new information, what you put out to be new information, when you're just covering? I wouldn't have gave out any information. I would have left that guys, you know, or however, you know, it didn't even sound like the guy, in my opinion. You know, I would have left that out. The sketch, please, look, when they come out with who it is, you're going to know, the same as I've told you, man, for like the last 2 some years. Like that second sketch was just baloney. And they knew it. And that's why they named it, because the federal government likes to name their stuff. We'll call it a new direction. Yeah, all right. That's because the old direction, you didn't know what you was talking about. Yeah, there came a time. I mean, there did. There came a time when they're talking about Delphi, and I'm like, well, if the guy came from Delphi, he had to walk. He had to walk from Delphi to there and back, because he wasn't seen leaving. He wasn't seen on the highway or the country road. You know, nobody seen him set it down by the railroad bridge. That was it. 2 people. You know, but after so long in time, it's just like, well, wait a minute. There's 20,000 people. Everybody in Indiana has seen that photo. Everybody in Carroll County has seen it since it happened, but nobody knows who it is. Yeah. It tells you, man, that what they're saying about him, like being there, working from around Delphi, that's baloney, and they knew it. And I'm telling you so that you know it. You can take it how you like, but yeah, that guy was not from around Delphi. Well, I kind of disagree to a degree. When I seen the guy, when I seen the man, you know, when we seen it was an older guy who had done this. Well, if you're looking at an older guy who just goes to a trail and kills 2 young girls, there's a motive behind that. Nobody just says, I'm going to go out and kill 2 girls, period. Just going to go kill 2 girls. You know, it ain't really like that. They have an underlying motive, which is normally older guy, 2 younger girls. You see where I'm at. And that told me rather quickly that there's going to be, even if it was a hair follicle, whatever it was, that there was going to be an amount of DNA left at that crime scene for whatever reason. Now then they come out, yeah, we have a suspect DNA. We have latent fingerprints. And I'm like, yeah, I knew that since the first year's press conference. That's the only way they're going to tell whether somebody committed a crime or not. You can't tell. DNA, you can't tell unless they committed a certain crime. But to say that it's like the person has never been caught committing a crime, fingerprints. That's the only thing that's taken every time. Yeah. And I do. I mean, I think that there is definitely an amount of DNA that they got. And I don't think that the guy was like all gloved up. And I say that for this reason. If I go back to Mary Pryor and Ann Pates in Michigan, both cases had DNA and fingerprints. Both of them. DNA and fingerprints. Now, if you have DNA and fingerprints and they have no match, that person has never committed a crime or never been caught committing a crime. And that's how I figured that to be, because when I looked those up and I found them, there it was. Fingerprints, DNA, 2 little bitty small towns, 450 people in Lennon, Michigan. And I think there was, I want to say it was like 700 and some in Montrose. Little bitty towns, 1 bar towns. His hometown is Montrose, 1 bar, and he was living in Flint. 2 o'clock in the morning, wonder where he was leaving the bar. And that's why when I called that in on Ann Pates, they said, somebody already turned that name in. I said, you're kidding. Like, hang on a minute. Yeah, we already got that name. I'm like, was that recent? Like, well, we can't tell you that. I said, okay. I says, thank you. Thanks. And I thought right then, man, immediately, my thought was, guy he was drinking with at the bar, after it had happened. Hey, man, when you left the other night, man, did you see that car that was parked down there, or car? I mean, was she there? Asking the normal questions. And I think that his answers, along with him getting caught down at the Catholic supply store, really made him think, yeah, he did that. I'm pretty sure he did. Yeah. Well, it won't be long. It won't be long. I mean, I'm looking at by October of this year. I mean, you figure August, should be done by September. It shouldn't take a month to convict that guy. I mean, he's got like the 2 women that were right there when it all happened to testify against him. It shouldn't take long for them to convict him. It shouldn't take long at all, man. Prosecution could go in on day 3 and just rest their case. They know they're going to get the conviction. So once he's convicted, then all these states can go talk to him. And that's when the charges will start getting filed, probably within 2 months. The time he's convicted, you'll start seeing all the charges filed. And they'll probably give them all at once. It won't be one state come out and then another and then another. Look, by that time, it'll be 3 years to get their cases together. 3 years. They will have their cases together, and they'll just go straight from going down, speaking to him, questioning him on all this, seeking a confession, so on, and to turn right back around. And they will probably, my hope is that they roll them all into one case, because if they go for all of them at one time, it's way better, because otherwise we'd have to wait till the very end to get Delphi done. That was one of the last ones he did before. That was the last one he did before Catholic Supply. No, this is from the first continuance. That was on October 13th of last year. And then they postponed it until August 2nd of this year. So hopefully that just all, they get it done, over with, and we know. And that's my only deal. At least everybody will know, it ain't about me saying I was right. I mean, I've said I was right, but the point is that everybody will know. And then it changes the whole course of conversation from who did it, to the more important, like, through this case down there, Catholic supply store. Why would a man be like that? What would cause him to turn like that? What's the underlying? It changes the whole thing of it. Now we know who did it, April 16th is a pre-trial, and I don't think that he has to be there, but I'm pretty sure that his lawyer's got to be there, but we will find out on the 16th. If he does go, then there will be photos. Man, I imagine that guy's hair is down to his butt by now, and his beard's down to his belly button. Look, they ain't giving that guy a razor. Believe me, they ain't going to do that. Oh, you can contact me here. This is my email address. You can write that down. And I'll throw my phone number up here in a minute. No. Oh, sorry. Hang on, man. No, we won't be able to watch it, but at the same time, I don't know why. I mean, I don't want to hear about it. I know what was done. They kind of explain what the guy was all about in doing that. Very, very sick. But at the same time, I don't think that they're going to air that on television. O.J. Simpson, that's one thing. We knew what happened to him, but they didn't show video of that or nothing, on that line. But it was O.J. Simpson, man. That's a big name, man. I know O.J. from my youth. O.J. goes back. In fact, I was at Kuala Hospital rehab when all that happened. And the lady that was in there, man, we was outside smoking a cigarette, in the smoking area. And she's telling me, she's like, "Did you hear O.J. Simpson's wife got killed?" Like, huh? Yeah, she did. And they think O.J. may have did it. Like, get out of here. Get out of here. O.J. ain't killing nobody. I was wrong. The day I got out, man, was the day of the slow speed chase, man. And I'm sitting in a hotel room watching that, man. I called rehab, I called back there and got a hold of a dude I was in there with. And I told him, I'm like, dude, get to the, watch the news right now. They have a slow speed chase. And he turned it on. He's like, man, yeah, I think he did it. I'm like, I'm sure he did now. Yeah, he wouldn't be doing that if he didn't do it. This is my telephone number right here. Write that down. And that's how you can contact me. Yeah, OJ did. OJ did get away with murder. He bought the best legal team that there was, man. And I guess if you got $8 million, you can buy yourself out of murder. That easy. Gar, man, how you doing? Hi. You know what? I'm going to get me a cell phone. I'm going to. I have to. Tell you what, man, here's my idea this summer. Got a little island down here in the Wildcat. And a named island. There's no name to it. So, since the Miami Indians called the Miami or the Wildcat Creek the Pishiwa, I was going to call it Pishiwa Island. And I was going to sell hamburgers, sodas, and a live bait at Pishiwa Island, for canoers and stuff. I was just going to kick it around the island this summer, man. Bitcoin money. Look into Bitcoin. Yeah, you don't even got to thank me. You don't. You don't even have to thank me. You don't. You make money. Remember, Michael's happy that you made money. And it ain't the American dollar going down quickly. It ain't that. No, decentralized. No debt. It's taking over the world. And I want you to be a part of it. Because Bitcoin is the new universe. It's the way of it. It's the reason the sun comes up in the morning. And it's worth all. It's any money you put into it overnight will make money. I'll guarantee you it pays better than any bank interest ever. I'm making better than 25% on everything I put in. Over 25%. And it just keeps going up. No, he don't. He don't have $8 million. In fact, he's got a public defender. Kind of show you where he's at. Yeah, he's whining. I'll get him out here at the end, man. I'll pull him out. And, yeah, I forgot to do that last time, man. I was upset. I apologized to him. I'm like, dude, man, should have got you out. You should see how big he is. He ain't really big. Yeah, he's a little dude. But everybody that sees my dog says the same exact thing. They're like, my God, I've never seen a dog that handsome. I'm like, that's right. God gives me the best puppies. Always make sure I have the best puppies. I'm doing very good, Christy Lynn. How are you? Glad you made it. It is. It is, man. It is. Everything will be Bitcoin in the end. The reset, look, man, one day Bitcoin will be the entire currency of the world. It has a cap on it. There is no debt. Third world countries are like, yeah, we could use this for our economy here. We can pay people in Bitcoin. And they're right, because it will. It's going to take over all finances on Earth. Will be Bitcoin and Ethereum. Between those two, man, I put money in Cardanos. Cardanos were like $1.39 a piece. I bought 275 Cardanos. They went up to $1.45 a piece today. More money. And what do? Take the pump, cash out, buy into Bitcoin. It's just a way to pump your money up, put more into Bitcoin. You can't get rid of property. Oh, but you don't understand. That property is not your property. If you buy property and you own it, look at the deed. You're a tenant because the government owns that property, and you will pay taxes or they take your property. But any money that you put into Bitcoin can't be traced. They can't tax you on Bitcoin. That's why it's the great asset. Actually going to overtake gold as soon as the market tops gold. Gold has not moved much in the last decade because they manipulate it and they keep it down. And if you bought an ounce of gold like 10 years ago, you would have lost money on that due to inflation, which is 7 to 15% annually. So I have nothing against silver or gold. I don't, man. I am a silver stacker. I have some gold. But right now, my money is going into Bitcoin because that is giving me some hard revenue. That's giving me some right back, and I'm never, ever spending that Bitcoin. It's going to sit right there and just continually grow. No. They've never seen zero. You're right. And I ain't talking bad about silver or gold. But the thing is if you put your money into gold, you would have lost money over the last 10 years. You would have lost money on gold because gold has not went up. In fact, it's dropped over the last 10 years. And inflation has went up 7 to 15% annually, which means that it has went up almost 100% over the last 12 plus years. So you would be losing an amount by holding gold. It's a good place to keep your wealth. It won't go to zero, and I'm not saying that. And as the dollar goes down, gold will go up. But the point is that by holding it, you would have lost an amount of money over time. Yeah. SHTF, gold's going up, so silver. Silver is one of the most undervalued assets on earth for that reason. You can buy it right now at $26 an ounce. When shit hits the fan, that stuff will be up there around like, $2,000, or maybe not 2,000, but it would definitely be up around $800-900 an ounce. Yeah, I agree, but the same applies to Bitcoin. I mean, Bitcoin is not attached to a country. It ain't. And when the American dollar goes down, fiat, world reserve, all fiat currencies will go down, which is like every country on earth. Now, when that happens, you're going to see the death of billions of people. But the whole underlying point is those holding Bitcoin will still have Bitcoin, and it will still be spendable. The only bad thing about gold and silver is you can't really, like, I can't take an ounce of silver and go to a store and buy something with it. It was our, well, if you look at the Constitution, it says our debts can only be paid in gold and silver or a currency backed by such. But, of course, politicians, disregarding their oath of office to the Constitution, they're like, nah, let's don't do that at all. Let's seize their gold, take away their money, and give them the Federal Reserve dollar back by nothing. Well, that's when they took our money. Right then. We have not had money, and if they ask me, well, how much do you make a year? I don't make anything. I've never made a dime of revenue because nobody ever paid me in silver or gold. You see where I'm at? It's in violation of the oath you took, and I don't know why you wasn't removed from office, sir. It's crazy the way that they program us to believe one thing when the real underlying truth is something completely different. And I do give my back to gold and silver and Bitcoin with Ethereum. Yes, it will be. In fact, by 2025, they are already saying that it will be worth $500,000, $500,000 for a Bitcoin by that time. In fact, they're projecting right now that at the end of this year, it will be worth $100,000, and it will be worth at least $1 million per Bitcoin by 2030 in 10 years. So, yeah. And once it hits $1 million, because by that time it will be the bigger part of the finances of this world, and then it will go 2 million to 1 billion, could hit 1 trillion. In due time, as it takes over countries and so on, there's a cap to it. You see, it ain't like the world reserve currency where they can say, well, we don't have that. Won't you print us up 2 trillion more dollars? Okay. They just hit a button. There's $2 trillion. There it is. It's not backed by shit. But our faith and credit is what makes it work. We think it's worth something, but it ain't. They just print the hell out of it and make it worthless. And, then what do you do? The only good thing with it is if they push inflation so high up that they can say, okay, now print us $20 trillion, make it $40 trillion and we'll pay you off, because then it ain't really worth anything. And they could pay off everything with nothing, literally. Will that happen? No, because they want death. They want depopulation. They want to stick a needle in people for some reason. See, I don't believe that. I don't buy it. And I think anybody that's worried about catching the Divok is probably watches television and they're programmed by it. And they think, oh my God, Divok's killing everybody. Ain't killing anybody. It's made up. It's a hoax. Called that over a year ago. Yeah, when I seen the headline in Fox News, from New York, and they had coffins covered with orange blankets saying, we're running out of room to bury him. Well, bullshit. I asked, man, do you know anybody that's got this? No. No. You know anybody died? No. Yeah, I'm smelling a rat. And it was at that time, I'm like, yeah, there ain't no weaponized virus. Let me tell you something. If China released a weaponized virus on the world that's killing everybody, wouldn't like the UN and all that be like attacking China? I mean, wouldn't we be like, oh my God, China tried to kill us all. We got to take them out. No, they ain't like that, man. We got great trade with China. We love China. It's bullcrap, people. It's even like when all the hospitals were filled. That's what they're doing. All the hospitals are filled. We're right. And like people at the hospital going like, yeah, here's the hospital. You can tell it's almost completely empty. Ain't nobody in there. It's just made up. No, I wouldn't. I'd say it's untested, man. I'm not your experiment. That's what I'd tell them. No, you ain't sticking me with that, pal. You need to take that to the next person that watches television, but you ain't going to put that in me. I don't even know what's in it. I didn't say it, but he typed it. So, anywho, if anybody has any questions on Delphi, which is why I'm here, only partially for Bitcoin, but I say this for one reason. If you do not know about Bitcoin, if you have no understanding of Bitcoin, look into Bitcoin. And I can tell you, if you are on a phone, go to Coinbase, very cheap. There's a fee, but it's very, very, very fractional. But if you're on a computer, I use Coinbase Pro, and they have almost virtually no fee. I can sit right there and trade out, buy anything I attach to my bank, pull money from my bank, put it on it, buy Bitcoin. I can sit right there and watch it go up. And as I watch it go up, at any time I want, I can click withdraw it all monetarily in US dollars right back to my bank account. There's and I'm not a financial advisor. I am here for entertainment only when I speak of Bitcoin. I should tell a joke. Do I know a joke? Man, I used to know a lot of jokes. You forget a lot of them. Oh, really, Mitch? Oh, right on, man. See, Gregory Manarino, he's a stock market analyst. He's got Trader's Choice. I had to hear him say it for the 1000th time before I said, all right, that's it. I'm going to go look into Bitcoin. But after I looked into Bitcoin, yeah, I was very happy I did. Very happy. I was like, yeah, I'm putting money in Bitcoin. I'm putting more into Bitcoin. I'm going to put a lot more into Bitcoin. And it's made me very, very happy. Yeah, I diversify. I put money in Ethereum and Cardano's, same way. Like I said, man, you can hop right on there and withdraw any amount, all of it if you want, right back to a bank account. And put it in there, watch it grow, pull it out if you want. Well, property would be one thing. I would have liked to got into property. Just buying property, turning it over like that. Bitcoin, stocks. I'd like to buy some Tesla, but Tesla is going up as well. But yeah, Tesla and Bitcoin. Right now, that's where my money's at. Yeah, well, that's one reason why I always watched Gregory Manarino. I did that interview with him, man. When I was doing it, I looked up his bio, and I was just like, my God, man, you're 4 months older than me, and you've been around the block like 5 times, man. Guy was into medical, was a PA, retired Coast Guard, stock market analyst, silver stacker. The guy really knows what's up. And I usually listen to him when it comes to the markets. Yeah. And that was the thing, people was saying, well, put like 50% into Bitcoin, 25% into the all caps, and 25% more into the lowercase. because the lowercase ones, man, they can be like $10 a coin and then go up to $5. You know, and if you had $1,000 in there, you'd be like sitting real good. You know, but you don't put all your money into little ones because they can fold too. There you go, your money. So if anybody has any questions on Delphi, I'm ready to give some answers. If you want to talk boxing, please call me. We'll talk boxing. I like talking boxing. In my life, I've never really got to talk much boxing. And you got to understand, man. I mean, if somebody watches boxing, they probably have their fighters that they watch. But, man, it's like when I got into it, I went in head and shoulders, man, the full way. Like, seriously, if I could go back in time, okay, when I was like 21, I had like, I don't know, probably 10 like stacks of magazines 7 foot tall, you know, that I had read each of them like front to cover, man. History, greatest fights, fighters, pound for pound, hardest punchers, dream for everything. I got a handle on that. And I like talking boxing with people. I do. Well, not really. Not really. It's pretty much private. Like if I buy Bitcoin, nobody knows I got Bitcoin. You know, they don't know that. It can't be taxed. It would seem easy to manipulate, but there's a cap on it. There's only 21 million Bitcoin with 3 million gone. So that means that there is like 18 million Bitcoin. And the last Bitcoin cannot be mined until 2140. That's 120 years from now. So through that time, as it gets more and more limited, there will come a day when a person could not buy a Bitcoin if they wanted to. There will not be the availability. You see where I'm at? So I think that, like for me, it was, you know, I heard that if you had over 0.028, you would mathematically always be in the top 1% Bitcoin holder. So I made sure that I got to that and above. I got 0.0378 right now. But I also put some into Ethereum and Cardano's because they're expected to pump same way. It's actually like this. Gregory Mannarino, like that. If you put in Gregory Mannarino, spelt like that, it will pull him up. He's from New York, man. Really a smart guy, man. The guy's very smart when it comes to investing. The guy knows. I mean, he gets Federal Reserve, all of it, man. He is an understanding. Yeah. When Sugar Ray came on the scene, man, it was on my birthday when he won the welterweight title from Wilfred Benitez, 1979, man. And I had watched Sugar Ray probably about like 4 or 5 fights, you know, that he had pre that when he was in like fighting top 10 contenders before going on to face him. I was a big Sugar Ray fan, but it was like at that time, man, in the welterweight division, you had Roberto Duran, Tommy Hearn, Sugar Ray Leonard, Wilfred Benitez, Pepino Cuevas, Carlos Palomino. There was just a lot of heavyweights there at that time. You know, it was the heyday of boxing. It was. I don't foresee those days ever coming back, man. Like Marvin Hagler, Matthew Saad Muhammad, Marvin Johnson, Larry Holmes, Alexis Arguello, Aaron Pryor. Man, I could go on all day, literally. Salvador Sanchez, Wilfredo Gomez, Lupe Pintor. There's a lot of greats at that time. Whoa. Oh. GPA boxed. Oh, your grandpa. I got it. Okay. I'm like, what's a GPA boxed? My dad boxed. He boxed when he was in the Army. if anybody really watched any 80s middleweights, Jeff McCracken, he was a Marine boxer. And my dad fought him when he was in the Army. He's like, yeah, I know Jeff. Jeff could like really hit, he was like really talking about, he beat my dad. Dad said it was close fight, but Jeff beat him. But man, he fought Tommy Hearns and I think Marvin Hagler, but well, they both beat him. But I mean, you're talking like upper professional at that point. Yeah, hit the like button if you would. Everybody's leaving because I'm talking boxing. You see what? So anyway, it's pushing 8 o'clock. I wanted to get on here and let everybody know. I mean, I ain't like quit the case or anything like that. Everything's just remaining the way that it is, and it's going to be. But there is going to come that time, around August 2nd thereafter when it starts changing. They're going to, file the charges after he's convicted and they get to go talk to him. That's what I'm wanting to see. And I'm hoping that people, stop by after the fact. Yeah, I'm going to Mitch. Just hang on. Give me 1 second, man. I'll get Puppy out. But yeah, I mean, once that does, then the topic will change from who did it, to the more important questions that's going to come up, with TV once it's, becomes, filed. Then people are it's going to change the topic matter. And that's what I want. I just want people to know, okay, this is who did it. So now we can discuss that. And then I don't have to sit and dwell upon the same things anymore. It's like, that's the part that got old, but not doing the shows. I mean, I enjoy doing shows, but I really like to have something, relevant to talk about each week, not just repeating the same thing all the time. Hang on a minute. Let me go get it. His name now is Figador Newton. The Big Fig. It's just a cool name. Give me a second. Let me pull him up. All right, dude. It's showtime. Ready? Get your handsome butt out here. Big stretch. Come here. Oh. Man, look at you. The most handsome doggy ever. You are, man. And people want to see you. Well, sit here and look cute. Look cute. Hold on. Ah. Calm down. All right, there he is. Come on, sit up here. Don't do that. Can't you just sit up here? Don't bite. Don't be a baby, man. Oh, look at you. Just the best puppy ever. Just the best. See, I normally don't even allow him over here. Don't get up there. What's wrong with you, dude? Calm down. Yeah. Well, this is he. This is Puppy Newton. The bit. He watches videos. He does, man. I'll be sitting there. The other night, I put a video on, and it was a coyote and it was playing with a cat. The coyote didn't even make a sound. It didn't bark, whine, anything like that. But it was sitting there and he was like running around this cat inside. And he's sitting there and he got up on the armrest and was just sitting there, turning his head, whining, watching that. And I was like, he can see it, and I didn't think a dog could see television, what was on the screen, but he can. And he will sit there. If I got something on there that he wants to see, he'll watch it. He really does. Yeah, I know he's got that little Manhattan tail. Look at that tail. I love him, man. I love this puppy. I love him so much. He's half Jack Russell and half Chihuahua. You can tell he's some Chihuahua. Just look at that face, man. Just adorable. All right, everybody. If anybody, what the? See? Puppy, don't do that. Yeah. Step back. All right, hop down. There you go. Well, that's Puppy, everybody. And I will probably be back next Tuesday, but I got to get a video put up between now and then. So give me a little bit of time. It will be the timestamp video, which I have been trying to do. But of course, I had Puppy, and he did not give me any time to, set and voice anything over. He play. What are you doing, man? You don't mess with that. So I will see everybody next Tuesday at 6 p.m. I thank you all for being here. Peace.